Well, hey, welcome to day 4 of our 21-day journey together. I trust that you have been enjoying it so far. We are continuing with Jesus' I am statements. And today we look at John chapter 10, and we're going to start at verse 14. It says this: I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. Just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, which is today's theme, speaks to a desire for leadership. These days, we are suspicious and cautious around leadership. We associate leadership with power, and power with abuse and agenda. But we long to, at the core of our hearts, at the core of our being, we long to be led. We long for someone to give us a compelling vision for life that we can give our heart and life to. We were created to be led, which means that you can't not be led. If you don't intentionally choose a leader, you will be unintentionally led by something or someone. One way in which we are often led is by culture, through culture, in the environment around us. Our environment has been intentionally designed to shape you, to shape your choices, from the clothes you wear, the products that you buy, what you watch, and what you believe. We see this in media advertising, we see this in supermarkets and shopping centers, and of course we also see this at levels never seen before on social media. So the first question we have to ask is, who or what is shepherding you? Is the social media algorithm your shepherd? Are you being shepherded by fear, maybe worry or lack? Or are you being shepherded by the culture and the kingdom of this world? The next question to ask is, what makes Jesus different from all the other alternatives? What makes him, as he says, the good shepherd? Well, in Luke chapter 11, we read what Jesus is saying about the leaders of Israel at the time. He says to the leaders, you load the people down with burdens that they can hardly carry, and you yourselves are not ready or willing to lift one finger to help them. Jesus is the good shepherd because he comes to us when we are weary, worn out, and overloaded, and he gives us rest. Rest because we no longer have to perform. We don't have to strive. We don't have to earn his acceptance or approval. He welcomes us just as we are. In Matthew, we read, it says that when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Jesus, as the good shepherd, sees us as we truly are and comes to us to meet us in our need. Being seen for who we really are is a scary thought. And we don't like the thought of being vulnerable, particularly towards those in leadership. Our fear is that if we are vulnerable with those in leadership, that they will take advantage of us, that they will use this against us in some way. So we like to be in control of what people see and what we're presenting, because we are fearful of judgment, and we tend to mistrust people's true motives. The scripture tells us that Jesus sees our true condition and that he has compassion. He doesn't judge, he doesn't condemn, he doesn't use this against us. Rather, it motivates him to come close to us. But more than that, Jesus does not just have sympathy with our need. Compassion means that he was moved into a practical response which meets that need. We read in John 10 that the good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. And this is how we know that Jesus is the good shepherd, because he leads like no other. I lay down my life for my sheep, he says. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me. They will listen to my voice. Jesus says that he voluntarily lays down his life to place himself into a world of religious and political power and military might, and release another kind of leadership into our world. He is someone who is kind, capable, and strong, but he is strong in a way that we are not expecting. Jesus' leadership looks like tending to the flock, leaving the 99 to save the one. It looks like strengthening the weak, healing the sick, delivering the oppressed, washing feet, hanging out with and bringing people in from every sphere of life, the outcast, the sexually broken, fisherman, the sinner, and the religious leader. He gathers them all and leads them all in the way of the kingdom. There has never been anyone like Jesus in all of history. And there has never been any leader like Jesus in all of history. He doesn't push us through guilt, through shame, and condemnation. He leads us in his goodness. Who are you going to entrust your life to when it comes to leadership, vision, and direction? Jesus, as the Good Shepherd, wants to lead me into a place. He wants to lead you into a place of freedom where I am eternally safe in the care of my Good Shepherd, which means I come to see the world as a safe place. A safe shepherd means I see the world as a safe place in which I am set free from my fears. And I am free to give rather than hoard. I am free to enjoy each day rather than worry. And I am free to forgive others rather than retaliate and react against them. And I am free to love the person determined to harm me. I'm free to love my enemies. As those he loves, we are able to hear his voice and follow his leadership, knowing he is good. We are not asked to measure up to some impossible standard or earn his approval. He simply asks us to hear and follow. As we finish our time together, I would encourage you to read slowly and prayerfully through John 10, 11 to 21. Ask yourself this question: who or what is shepherding me? Who is the shepherd of my relationships? Who is the shepherd of my thought life? Who is the shepherd of my finances? And as you read through this passage, make a list of all the characteristics of the shepherd that you see. What stands out to you? What are you drawn to? And why? I trust as you do so that you'll come into a place of deeper revelation of how Jesus is the Good Shepherd. And he wants to lead us into his presence, lead us into his life, and show us his way of living in the kingdom.